So guys, this is my review video for the Case Study of Vanitas, episode 17. And with that, guys, let's dive right into a very interesting episode and some key points that we definitely need to discuss today. Let's get it. So we see here in episode 17, the title of the episode is called Hands Upon a Nightmare. And basically, where we last left off last week in episode 16, that Chloe had activated the machine that it specifically targeted a specific spot where Vanitas thought that it was targeting a broader spectrum, but that's not the case at all. It was actually targeting Nania, and it gives her a form for a body, because Chloe basically kind of blames Nania for basically going after Jean-Jacques, sorry, and she goes after Nania here in episode 17, and she just talks about how, you know, she needs to get rid of Nania permanently. This is what needs to be done. But at the same time, we see some interesting stuff from Vanitas here at the beginning of the episode and a little bit further. So what we find out is that Vanitas knows some key information about Nania, about her past, and he needed confirmation because Noé gets a little bit upset at him a little bit later in the episode. But he basically says that because, you know, Nania has a specific past, that we actually see here specifically that when Chloe basically destroys this body of Nania's, it actually reforms her true body, because we actually see Luca and his brother back in his cage, where he talks about how you know, he says that there were some forms of the body still out there, remnants of it, and he says, "Isn't that right, my queen?" Vanitas tells Noé that because we see this form, this body that she takes, that we get the true person that is Nania, and that is, he says that it is the malnomen of Queen Faustina, the first vampire of the Crimson Moon. And when we see this happen, we see that that Nania actually kisses Chloe to the point that she looks like she causes her to swallow this black ooze and goo, and it actually comes out of her eyes and stuff like that. She's choking and stuff, but to the point that when this is occurring, and I forgot to mention that Jean-Jacques came in per his beast form. He got knocked down by Nania. That we end up seeing that Chloe ends up literally releasing like this, I want to say this this dimension, this pocket dimension that engulfs the surrounding area, engulfs the castle that they're in, the area, the trees and everything, and including, as you see here, we see that it also takes some of the villagers with them to this other dimension, this pocket dimension, which is just like really just strange. You see how the coloring is and how it's like a purplish in a variety of different colors. It's just really interesting. But you know, with that, we know that now we know that Chloe has kind of gone off the rails a little bit because of what had just occurred with this specific kiss from Nania. And so now, you know, we get ready to prepare for some, like I said, some very interesting stuff to come moving forward in episode 17. Now, I find it interesting that Vanitas, he still was holding on to some bit of just like not trusting people, specifically vampires, you know, because he actually mentions to Noé that, you know, he couldn't trust telling Noé about this key information about Nania, you know, about Chloe, this, that, and I thought, like, he just said to him, like, you know, a lot of you vampires don't listen to us humans. I just found it very interesting that he tells Noé this, because again, you know, they've grown and built such a bond. You know, again, they've had their moment just a few episodes ago where there was that, it seemed like that trust was broken and their bond was broken, but they, you know, it seemed like they got back on track, and even more so, a bit deeper. So I kind of found it interesting that Vanitas decided to not keep Noé in the loop, but, you know, at the same time, Noé, he still is willing to help Vanitas here. He's still willing to help him with the cause of him trying to helping Vanitas save vampires and stuff like that. So I find it very interesting that these two sides are still clashing with what's going on, even with the current situation at hand. But what we do see here, though, when Vanitas falls from one of the spots that they were at, and he was getting ready to fall down into the depths of this dimension, this pocket dimension, that Noé goes down. He tries to basically save him, but as you see here, this specific person pops up out of nowhere and tells Noé that you can't save him. Why are you trying to do this? You should join us instead. It was just really, really interesting, really strange that this person pops up and says this to Noé. And I was just sitting here like, who is this? Even Noé's like, who was this type of thing? But he still goes after and he still saves Vanitas from falling and hurting himself, probably even passing away. But with that, we also get a chance to see, the arrival of Roland. He finally pops up. Astolfo was around, but he was at the beginning of the episode, but he ended up going somewhere else. He's probably on one of the other parts of the pieces that are floating around the pocket dimension. I believe that he is there. He has to be. But Roland shows up with to help, basically, and he hugs Vanitas and Noé. He literally is just excited to see them. He's like, he's here to help with the situation. He also brings with him Violino with him to help. I apologize, I said his name wrong. It was Olivier. I don't know where I got Violino from, but Olivier shows up and they have a bit of a conversation. He basically agrees to help Roland fight off these wolves that pop up. And even like the wolves that they kill, they actually form a whole new body on top of each other, and then they end up, him and Olivier end up going to fight this wolf creature. But with that, then something interesting happens that definitely we need to talk about it. I find it interesting towards the end of this episode, the last few minutes of this episode, that's going to be focused on Jeanne, and it is this right here. So speaking of Jeanne, what we see here, Jeanne is actually in this water. It basically seemed like, from what I could tell from the episode, Ruthens put her here specifically. He was trying to save her. He was trying to put her to sleep, basically telling her to sleep. But Jeanne, we actually see clips from her past, her growing up, being adopted by a man and a woman to become her mother and father, but they eventually die because they go against the code or something like that. And this person tells younger Jeanne that your parents went against this code. They had to basically die, and now you have to suffer the sins of your parents by becoming a bureau and basically going after curse bearers, and specifically Chloe. In this void here, in this watery like place, she's like talking to herself, but it seems like she's also talking to somebody else. We actually hear Vanitas's voice. It's sort of vague but sort of not, but he's trying to convince her that Chloe is not the beast, but Jeanne is convinced that Chloe is, and she says that I'm the bureau. This is what I need to do. I have to get rid of Chloe and not fail. But with that, Vanitas basically just trying to reiterate to her, like, you don't have to do this. But again, like I said, we see all this stuff. We see Ruthens in her past coming to her and talking to her about these people who are going to adopt her. We get a chance to see again back with the scene at the end last week with her coming back, returning to Chloe many moons ago, and she reaches out to Chloe as she falls off the cliff and stuff like that. We see all of this stuff. Chloe is really going through it mentally to the point that, like I said, she just believes that, for her to find true peace in her heart is that she has to go after Chloe and get rid of her, because she believes that she's the beast. But she does not know that Chloe is not the beast, that is Jean-Jacques. But will she if she's told that that's the case, or she finds out that that's the actual case, that Chloe is not the beast, will she go after Jean Jacques, or will she actually help them go after Nania, who indeed, I forgot to mention, she goes back to her regular form, and you know, she said that she almost forgot who she was, basically, or forgot the form that she was formerly in. And after all of that, so it kind of gives us a snippet of what Nania, how powerful she actually really is, how scary she really is. So I'm really interested to see if we'll get that form back again, moving forward, with, I want to say episode 18 next week, maybe episode 19 the following week. I'm really interested. But as always, this anime continues to get better and better each and every week, and I'm just loving it so much. But with that, guys, leave some comments in the comment section below. What did you all think of episode 17 today? What were your initial reactions and stuff like that? Let's talk about some things in the comment section below, and I will hopefully talk to you all next time with more The Case Study of Vanitas. Peace, guys.